How are we all doing? Welcome to the first day of Past Summit. I hope you all had a fantastic day. If my voice sounds a little croaky, it's not because of secret karaoke last night. It's because I literally presented right before this. Please silence your cell phones. This will not be the first or last time you see this, possibly today. Look, one of the cool things about Pass, for those of you who are first timers, and I saw a couple of people in here who are first timers, so I'm going to go through this slide. We got a pretty cool community at Pass, and the best part is there's a whole heap of stuff that's free. You can learn for free. I mean, and if you're really good, I might give you some New Zealand chocolate. So, whew, how good is this? Look, there is an election going on at the moment. This is not campaigning for myself, this is campaigning for the community. You all have a brilliant, brilliant ability to make a change and to help our community. So you've got... And go William.
Go William.
Go...
Go Mindy.
Go...
Go Chris. Go Pass.
Thank you. This might be the last time you see Ben as a judge, I don't know yet. But yeah, please vote. That's all I want you to do. Okay, that shouldn't have gone like that, but that's fine. There was an animation, that's cool. So, for those of you that have not been to Speaker Idol before, actually, well, I assume the first time is this is the first time you've been to it, unless you snuck in last year, which is a bit naughty. Anyway, each presenter is going to get 5 minutes. The hardest part of being a speaker, not the content, I just Google it. Infrastructure. So for my 3 contestants, we only got 3 today. Unfortunately, someone couldn't make it. So for the 3 of my good friends who are going to present today, you're going to be better than me. Look how I can't even get an animation to go. You're going to get 5 minutes. And one of the things I stress to the contestants is we're not going to, mark you down if you're 5 minutes, 2 seconds, because I want people to have a good time. Yeah. The judges will present each speaker with feedback. And I'm going to introduce the judges very soon. You've already heard one of them. The judges will pick a winner. Because there has to be a winner. And as I said to everyone that applied for Speaker Idol and made it through to the, now 11, they're all winners because they're going to get some awesome, awesome feedback from my our judging panel. And then Friday afternoon, my good judging team is going to pick a wild card winner. And so I literally emailed all the Speaker Idol contestants and said, try and make yourself memorable. Because our judges are going to take some really great notes, and that's one of the reasons why they're the team that they are. But yeah, there's a wild card possibility out there for you. And then Friday afternoon, around about 2 p.m, we'll all congregate back here, and please come back and support. At 2 o'clock on Friday. We want to have an awesome, awesome time, and we'll basically follow the same format. Now, I have to have a caveat because some of these images are from Microsoft. In fact, I have no idea where Denny stole them from. In fact, you're probably wondering, has Denny let himself go? My name's Hamish Watson. I'm not Denny. Unfortunately, Denny was originally going to be going to Ignite, and then he made the best decision ever and has come back to Past Summit. But the cool thing is he's come back as an attendee, which is probably why he's not here. He's probably had a really good night at Secret Karaoke. So yeah, I was asked to be a stand-in for Denny, but I want you to think about this. Friday, I want to have a party. Denny's here. Let's see what happens. So come back Friday. Right, the prize. What's the prize? Why are we doing this? Well, the winner gets a session at 2020 Past Summit. Right? But more importantly, they get 12 months of panicking about their session. But it's kind of cool, bragging rights, because, it's a big thing. You get to speak at a fantastic conference that we're at. And the cool thing is, the winner of last year, Rob Volk, Rob is a really, really nice guy because he bragged and almost, he almost bragged like a New Zealander. He was just like really humble. I'm serious, like it was really nice. He could have gone over the top. Anyway, this is the prize, my friends, and this is why we're doing it. Oh, yep, cool. Right, we have some judges. We have the awesome Kendra Little. Do you want to say? Yeah, g'day, mate. Is the mic on, my friend?
No.
Oh,
There we go. All right.
The awesome Kendra Little.
Okay, one more time. No, wait, no, you don't.
Oh, yeah.
No, one more time. Hi, my name is Kendra, and I have spoken at a few past summits before. I really, really appreciate all of these contestants because it ain't easy. And you know what? 5 minutes is hard. So I know we're going to learn a lot. I'm really excited about it. And we have another judge next to me. Should we just pass this down the line like we do when you're judging?
Mate. Yeah.
What is your name and what do you do, sir?
So my name is Ben Weissman, and as you have heard, this is my last past summit because this may actually be the last occasion I'm going to be at this past summit, so we may need another judge. Because you just kicked me out, basically.
Oh, no, I didn't.
So it's going to be 12 months of freaking out for me as well if I'm going to be readmitted or not. Either way, I'm totally looking forward to this. This will be awesome. Even if it's just 11, those 11 contestants, they will rock it. So
Yeah.
which will be pretty hard for us, but that's fine.
So yes, we've got the delicious Ben Weissman, and now we have the brilliant Melody Zacharias.
Hi, I'm Melody Zacharias, and I've been speaking at Summit since 2015, and I'm really glad that I did back then because there was no Speaker Idol, and I totally don't think I would ever win this. It's a super hard contest, and I'm really excited to hear everybody's presentation. I think this is one of the hardest sessions to actually give, so kudos to everybody who has applied and is putting themselves out there. It's a big job.
And last but not least, we have the fantastic Kathi Kellenberger.
I'm Kathi Kellenberger, and I know I've spoken at PASS every year since 2013. Someone's going to notice that pretty soon, and I may not be speaking, but speaking at PASS is just so different than any other place. Speaking of Sequel Saturday, it's fun, it's laid back. Here, it's just a whole nother level. So congratulations to all the people who got chosen to be part of this today. You are all winners. Doesn't matter how Friday turns out. Every one of you is a winner.
Nice one. And we have today's speakers. So first up is going to be William Assaf. Then we're going to have Dave Bland, and then Eric Freeman. Cool. So I asked each of the contestants to send me a blurb, and I decided I was just going to put in verbatim what, I wasn't going to change anything. So, yeah, William is a past regional mentor and long-time Sequel Saturday and user group organiser in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I didn't know what the LA meant. I'm not from around these parts. He's a manager, principal consultant for SQL Server, and during the day has been an author for the books Microsoft SQL Server Inside Out 2017 and 2019, which I believe you write with Randolph? Oh, and other people? Oh, and Melody? Oh, thank you so much for what you do. William is joined here in Seattle by his brilliant wife, Christine, who is far more interesting. And she was accepted to speak at Past Summit while William was not. However, judges, are we going to mark, I hope we don't mark William down for lying, because you were accepted. The committee accepted you for Speaker Idol. Alrighty, William, come on up, mate. We're gonna make stuff go. Stay on brand, Hamish. So we're gonna swap some stuff around. Let me know when you're ready. Yeah, we'll mic you up. Let me know when you want it on. Yep. last but not least, which chocolate would you like for afterwards?
Oh, wow. This one's called Morg?
This is it's a fistful of awesome.
Oh.
Only in New Zealand.
I'll have
Actually,
the
take
festival,
both.
thanks.
All the best, mate.
Thanks. Put them in my pocket. They'll get all nice and melty. Okay. Y'all can hear me okay?
Yep. You just let the judges know when you're ready, and we'll hit the timer.
Yeah, you're not timing me yet, right?
Technically, it's usually when you begin.
Well, there were jokes involved. Okay. Welcome to Spooky Sequel. Today's spooky sequel stories are scary, non-sequential, new sequential GUIDs, shocking foreign key behavior, and terrifying duplicate primary keys. Features of night brought to light. Behold, the fright of new sequential ID. To set the story, we have a table with a unique identifier as the primary key clustered index and a default constraint of the new sequential ID function as opposed to the default random behavior. I ran some inserts, caused some things to happen, and then, look, the identity column is in order, but our insertion date is out of order. We're inserting to the beginning of the table again. See, here's what we expect with new sequential ID, something very similar to identity or sequence, just a constant ascending insertion. The actual behavior is the new sequential ID seed can change, writing all over the table logically, resulting in fragmentation upon insertion. You see, the C++ function is based on the MAC address of the NIC. And you should never use this to identify an object that is not strictly local to your computer. Any change to the MAC will change the new sequential ID seed. In fact, any of these things could change the seed, including a failover of a failover cluster instance or an availability group, the changing of a tier of an Azure SQL database. It could even happen on startup of a VM. Here's scenarios in both VMware and Hyper-V where it could happen upon starting your VM. So as you can see, we can't trust new sequential ID. Fright number 2, behold the shocking foreign key behavior. I put 32,000 rows in 2 tables, and then I ran a simple query to join them together, and I get 2 clustered index scans. Now I'm going to add a foreign key on the tables to bring them together on that common key. Same query, keep your eye on clustered index scan. It's gone. The foreign key allowed the scan on the parent table to vanish, dropping the cost of the query from 1.25 to 0.37 without changing code or indexes. Now let me tell you another spooky story from SQL Saturday Pensacola 2012, and not just the 20 inches of rain they got this day. I was giving a lightning talk, not unlike this talk, on a night, not unlike this night. And this trick demo of mine didn't work. Both scans stayed despite the new foreign key. Why? Later, I found the spook in my database. You see, the foreign key existed and was enabled, but was not trusted. And so it could not benefit from existing keys being evaluated. You see, ever see Management Studio script out a foreign key like this with no check? That means the foreign key exists and is allowed to be created and enabled, but is not trusted because it did not evaluate existing rows, and so it can't help performance. Instead, what normally follows that script from Management Studio, alter table check constraint, what you need to trust the foreign key is alter table with check constraint, with check. Seriously, that's spooky. Now the foreign key is not trusted and can go back to helping our queries again. Our last fright number 3, behold, duplicate primary key horror. Many businesses have an invoice or line item or reference number system that looks like this, a year, then an invoice number, then a line item to the right of the decimal point. You see, the float or the real data type is a floating point data type that does not store exact values. It's an approximation, and in Microsoft SQL Server, rounding up. Let me show you a quick lab just to prove how problematic this can be. I've got a table, and I'm going to insert one invoice with 8 line items into it, as you can see right here. Then, if I select from my table, which has the float as the data type, look what it's done to my precious data. Those are distinct records. I had a group by in my query. To actually display the correct data, I have to convert it to a grown-up data type, decimal 19.3. The decimal type, the data type I should have used to begin with, right? Now, let's say we have to copy this data to another system, like a data warehouse or a competitor software, to a database with grown-up data types that have a higher precision. The data insert's fine, but oh no, look what it does to our data. Thank you very much. Hopefully I have not spooked you out of enjoying the rest of Past Summit 2019.
Alrighty, thank you so much, mate. That was awesome. Right, are we back on? Yep, we've done that. Right, judges.
Hello.
Hello.
It was really fun, and I love the theme. In a real presentation, you're not going to be able to continue doing that, but it was really, it caught our attention, really fun. I love the animations on the slides to emphasize your point, and I thought it was really smart how you had, like, some of your demos, you just showed the, images instead of actually being brave enough to do a demo in 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden you're doing a real live demo. So kudos for that. Nice. Your confidence was really good. You look really comfortable up there, so that's great. The only criticism I have is that on some of the slides you were just reading the bullet points. Okay. So be careful of that, and also be careful of too much verbiage on slides as well. But great job, and thank you for being brave enough to do this in 5 minutes.
Thanks.
Excellent job. I really liked your energy. I like that you actually did a demo. I think I will use #GrownUpDataType forever. That was very catchy, very well done. Yeah, particularly the fact that you did the demo. I liked your stage presence. You don't move around too much, but you still had emphasis with your hands and were able to get across your message, so that was really well done. A little bit, as Kathi had said, a little bit too much reading. Okay. But I think that might have been just the style of the presentation. You might want to work on that, but I think you did a great job. Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, first of all, awesome job for sure. Nice presentation, nice style. It really matched theme of.
They turned the mic off on you.
This is working for me. And this is literally not working for me, so. Oh, there we go. So again, yeah, great flow, great energy. Your presentation style really, really did match what you were. It matched your style. That was perfect. Awesome on timing. You were like 6 seconds short, so you knocked that out of the park. I didn't mind the reading so much in most parts, because it was more like you were telling a story and those were subtitles to what you were saying. So I thought that was kind of funny. I don't know if it was intentional, but I like that. Except for a couple of exceptions, like you had that one slides where some things could go wrong, and you were basically mentioning 2 bullet points out of 8 that you had on the slide, but the slide was only on for like 10 seconds. So if there's something that I can't see and you're not going to mention it, probably rather leave it away, unless it's something you had got in the back end. Yeah. That might be something I would change. Other than that, also live demo, kudos for that. So it was very enjoyable. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
I'm like, hello. All right, I agree with some points raised. I had some other stuff too. So I actually the things you were showing, I already knew a lot of them, but I actually had a hard time keeping up. It was fast. Now, and I struggle with pace a lot. And I know that I was like, what is this session about? Is it a tip session? Like, I get the spooky things are happening, but why should I care? I was kind of missing that too. So I think, so for folks who don't know, people who if you come back to the final round, you have the choice to redo the same session or to do a different one. So if you were to do this again, I would consider going to 3 and doing more of because your intro was great, but it was like entertaining, but I didn't get, like, why will knowing these things help me? I didn't really get. Is it to help me be a better developer? So maybe kind of clarifying who is the audience and why would this help you? And then I would slow things down to let people kind of absorb the spooky story. So I think I need a little more narrative, and it would help me to have a little time for my brain to catch up, because she covered a lot in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think that I had a hard time reading the slides, and I think the things folks said about less text on the slides would also help my brain keep up, because I'm trying to listen and I'm trying to read the slide too. So great talk. Thank you so much, William, for joining us today.
Thanks, everybody.
All right.
You want to do the mic?
Yeah. If you just give it me. That'd be all cool. Oh, it's broke. Oh, no, that's your clicky thingy-majiggy technical term. Cool. See, that's one of the reasons why you join Speaker Idol, because you get some New Zealand chocolates for participating. Which one would you like, mate? Yeah, you know it. Chose the L&P one.
Oh, you got L&Ps?
I have L&Ps. Come to my session. Afterwards, sweet as. Alrighty, Dave has a degree in music education from Western Illinois University. 16 years DBA experience. You start where you're 10, mate. 20 years of teaching SQL Server, starting with 7.0, and 20 years as a Microsoft certified trainer. And currently is a SQL Server instructor at Harper College, Palatine, Illinois. I had to do some translation. And is currently manager of the DBA team at Stericycle, and is a frequent presenter at SQL Saturdays, user groups, and lives in the Chicago area, which is in Illinois, I believe.
Yeah.
Nice job. Thanks, man. It's on there, so it's...
All right, can you guys hear me? Yes. All right. Good to go. Ready? All right, welcome. Today we're going to talk about the poor SQL formatter in Azure Data Studio. I'm Dave Bland, that's how you can get a hold of me. And we're going to talk about why is formatting important. We're going to do a demo of the poor SQL formatter. We're going to do a high-level overview of it. So why is formatting important? Starting with increase time to troubleshoot an issue. I worked for a casino for 9 years, and I don't know if you've ever been to a casino, but casinos hate to lose money. They like to take money, but they hate to lose money. The casino I worked at, if the system was down, it was $1,500 a minute lost. So if it took me 5 minutes to troubleshoot a stored procedure, that's $4,500 just to look at the code. And casinos don't like that. The next thing is, it could be difficult to add functionality. For some of the same reasons that we have in troubleshooting, I need to add a column or I need to add a criteria to the where clause. Well, if I got poorly formatted code, it's going to be difficult to find where I need to put that column or where I need to make the change. The last reason is this. I hate to do this. I had brown hair until I opened the stored procedure you're going to see a little bit later. There are times where you just like, I got to go home, right? And sometimes when you realize you actually wrote that code, kind of makes things a little more difficult. So how can Azure Data Studio help? Well, it can't. Not by itself. You need to go and get the poor SQL formatter. It's free. It's one of the extensions. It's a very simple file download. It's easy to install, does not require a reboot of Azure Data Studio simply to install it. So it's a very, very nice tool to have. Now, Monica, who's sitting right there, has ugly babies. I have angry baby. So let's go do a quick demo. So if you were born in the first half of the year, this is your query. And the reason the first half of the year, because I was born in February, so I like to make things easier. So if we look, formatted nicely. The columns are set up nicely. We got the columns nice and lined up. And then we got the select, so we scroll down a little bit and we got some cases, and it's relatively easy to read. So not really a problem there. Now, one of the things I like about Azure Data Studio, if you look, see that line that's going this way? It helps me line up what's going with where. So if I look down and I see the select and I scroll down, that from goes with that select. So it was very, very nice. Now, if you were born in the second half of the year, my apologies to you, because this is your query. And that's it, right? Remember, I had brown hair before I opened this guy, right? And if we look at it, there's a couple of different things. Look at the gray lines. Even Azure Data Studio gave up. It just simply could not go any further. So it's something that if it can't do it, how can I do it, right? So, and if you notice, the select keyword's not capitalized as well. Now, one of the things with Azure Data Studio is there are preferences. And in those preferences, there's a total of 19 different settings that come with this particular extension, 16 of which are related to the formatting. So you can decide, well, where's the comma going to be, before or after the column name? What do I want to do with an end statement where I have multiple values? Do I want them to go this way or do I want them to go this way? It's kind of up to you. You just need to go through and you need to figure it out. What I'm using is the default setting. So I have not gone in there and changed anything. So how do I get to the Poor SQL Formatter? Well, it is an extension, so I need to go to View Command Palette. So if I click here, the command palette opens up, and then I type the word poor. Poor. And it shows up, and I simply click here, and what will happen is it'll go get the rules out of the preferences, and when I click this, and it goes, and bam. Now it formats it, and I got that bam from Emerald Lagasse. I just don't do it as well. So, and now everything's very nice and everything's nicely placed. It's not perfect, but it's a heck of a lot better than what it was, right? So it's something that could save us a ton of time. So to wrap things up, my baby's no longer angry, but get this format, prevent a lot of headaches. Also, $0. Doesn't cost a dime. Here's some resources. If you're on Twitter, you definitely want to follow Vicky Harp. Enjoy the rest of the summit, and thank you very much.
All right, I go first this time. I had to press stop. So you came in pretty much right on time. I think I pressed my timer a little late. I think you're really right on 5 minutes, if I saw that right. So, I mean, that's not easy. They turned off the mic on me. Yes, they did, Ben.
Turning it off, it's getting interference from like a cell device or something.
Oh, I see. I think the interference is clearly around Ben. But that's not your fault. That's not your fault, Dave. That's totally unrelated to you. This should be about you, not about us. You have really cute humor. I really liked. I loved the line, "How can ADS help?" Well, it can't, not by itself. I thought that was, and you had other great humor spots too. Great energy throughout. It did feel a little rushed to me.
Okay.
I feel like I have to do this in honor of judges who've been here before. I wasn't sure if your images were used with permission or not like that. That's often a thing that the judges comment on Speaker Idol is if you are using ones that are safe to use, have it somewhere in the talk about either these are copyright free or I did them myself or something like that on the text. Speaking in text, I did get a little distracted by the secret messages on the slide.
Okay.
You've only got 5 minutes, and you need to hold our attention. And if we're looking at extra stuff, it's because we have to follow in 5 minutes too, right? We got to follow along on the ride. So I would simplify a little bit. You know, I did get kind of confused at one point about, are those preferences in ADS or in the extension? You know, so maybe simplify a little bit.
Right.
I don't have to know everything, but great energy, great pacing. Thank you so much.
You did well. Yeah. Like the presentation, couple of jokes in between. That was very nice. Actually, you didn't really point it out, but I really liked your subline. which said, summit advice, meet someone new. I love that part, even though it was not a core part of your presentation, but it's a core part of past summits. So that was awesome. You did assume that everybody in the audience knows what Azure Data Studio is and how that whole extension model works. And in my experience, people don't, because people are still on-prem and you can't use Azure Data Studio because it's just for Azure. Or someone just named that product poorly. I mean, it will be one or the other. I do understand that in just 5 minutes, which you hit almost spot on, it is hard, but maybe just explain in like very few sentences to make at least sure you're not losing those that have no idea what Azure Data Studio actually is. Since I already just basically stole a couple of extra seconds from your presentation, what I would have liked at the end if you would have taken that code and actually put it into a SQL notebook, because if you're talking about presenting something well and documenting stuff very well, notebooks work very well for that. Even though I don't think that this particular plugin would work, so it would be some kind of copy pasting. Other than that, I liked it a lot. Again, liked the subline very much. Other contestants don't copy it. This will not count. So thank you.
I agree. Great job. Very good story. I like the fact that you had a start, a middle, and an end to the story. That was a good message. The last slide I found to be a little bit too busy. I think you could have broken it up and still given the same amount of information, because all your other slides were bang on in terms of the amount of information. It was just a little bit too much at the end, and even if you had to go from one slide to the next, I think you could have split that up a bit better, but that was good. Your energy was good. A little bit of nervous movement, it seemed, which I'm not sure if you were actually nervous, which would have been justifiable, but and I'm terrible at that. I walk around almost too much sometimes when I speak, so I happen to notice it a little bit more, and it can be a bit distracting. But other than that, it was fantastic. Good job.
Thank you.
Fantastic job. The thing that I really loved about it is that you picked something very simple. It didn't get really complex. So I completely disagree with Ben on the thing about bringing in SQL Notebook, because you've got 5 minutes. You've got to keep it very simple. So I really think that was great. The images and the little jokes, fantastic. Not too much. It's not distracting. It just keeps people connected. And you look really confident up there. Probably, I kind of also agree with that last slide. It was kind of had a lot of stuff on there, so maybe just kind of format that. Another thing is the slide background. I've learned over the years less is better on slides. I just go with white backgrounds unless I'm forced to do something else. Why have things that don't matter? And probably the only thing I would really criticize is I felt like your pace was fantastic at first, and then it changed and got faster, and I even felt like you were a little bit out of breath during part of it, maybe about 3 minutes in. So I felt like you were struggling to breathe and talk, but fantastic job, and thank you for doing this.
All right, thank you.
All good. Our next contestant is Eric Freeman. Sweet as. While Eric sets up. So Eric works as a lead business intelligence architect at John Burns Real Estate Consulting. He has 15 plus years of experience working with Microsoft SQL Server and holds a MCTS in business intelligence with a strong emphasis on performance tuning, ETL, and data warehousing. Eric is a former president of the Sacramento SQL Server user group and actively speaks at SQL Server events. Sacramento, that is California. Yes! Wait, there's more. I think it's the capital. Is it the capital? Yes. Woo! There you go, mate. I'll get you another one because I made a mistake. I gave quite a few out before. They're apparently quite popular. Just let me know when you're ready. Cool. It's all yours. No, it's not. Yeah, the eagle-eyed amongst you would have noticed that the cord wasn't plugged in. It's my fault. Yes. Is everyone ready for the sponsor event thingy-majiggy after this?
The
Exhibitor
reception.
reception. Thank you. Technical terms. Alrighty, it's all yours. Whew. These are delicious.
Don't turn it off.
All right, can you hear me? Hi, I'm Eric Freeman. I help design, manage, and maintain data models and process flows used in the real estate industry. You may be aware of the importance of automation when dealing with large amounts of data. Moreover, the need for automation has only been increasing year over year. When moving and automating data, it is important to have a solid foundation to work from. You know that your foundation needs work if, 1, you have too many manual steps when moving and processing data. 2, you have a hard time tracking down the root cause of an issue. Or 3, you don't know there is an issue at all. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to share the core items needed for a solid automation framework. I discovered that I needed automation framework when I started working at the company I currently work for. Within the first couple weeks, I discovered that we completely lacked any automation whatsoever. All of the loads were painstakingly manual. I needed a way to take away the process of downloading a file from a URL, opening up a file in Excel, saving it to a specific network location, and then running a stored procedure in SQL Server Management Studio. I had to get a handle on this process, and I had to do it quickly. So the first thing I did was I started by jotting down what was necessary for a solid automation framework. I knew that I didn't want to be stuck in SSIS. I do like SSIS, but not a lot. I wanted the framework to work more like an application or a tool. I wanted it to be self-sufficient, and I didn't want to have to worry about it. I needed the flexibility to add various processes. I wanted to be able to have it send out emails, run a store procedure, run another SSIS package, run a SQL agent job, or anything else. I needed a non-rigid execution order so that if I had 2 processes that were running that had 3 steps and were not dependent on each other, they didn't run in steps 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Instead, they ran in steps 1, 2, and 3 at the same time. I wanted the ability to pick up the process wherever it left off. So if there was an error at a certain point in the process flow, I didn't want to have to go back to step 1 after addressing that issue. I wanted to log anything and everything that was necessary. I wanted it to be easy to maintain, otherwise I wouldn't use it. And I also wanted the ability to send notifications, not because I enjoy waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning, but it's because I don't want to come into work the next day being told that there's an issue with the system. And finally, it needed to archive load files. It's very, very important to be able to go back to a load file and say, this is the reason that this data existed, how it does at this point in time, rather than just saying, I don't know. So my solution it included 2 SSIS packages, one for moving data, and the second one was for processing various process types. Here's a screenshot of the first package that moves data. It first goes to a URL. It finds out if that file that we download is a new file or if it's the same as last time we loaded it. And it archives it, and then it moves on and says that this file is ready for processing. It does the same thing with local network files. The second package is the process automation package, and that first gets a list of everything that is necessary to execute next in line, whether it's an email, if it's a store procedure, or if it's a PowerShell scripts, and executes it accordingly. After it executes, it goes back to the beginning and asks that question again. This is my implementation of automation framework. I hope it's inspired you, and thank you. Yes.
Okay. Eric, thank you for doing that. I feel like you were a little bit nervous and not quite comfortable, and that comes with practice. It comes with speaking at a lot of events. On your slides, I would be careful with your font size. It needs to be much, much bigger. And also try to add some more images and not rely on words on the slides quite so much. We really want people to be focused on you when you present, not so much on trying to read along. And I wasn't sure what that, you were moving a paper. I wasn't sure if that was representing a manual process or what was going on there.
Sure.
So, and sorry, was that what you were doing? Trying to kind of represent a manual process, or you had
No,
notes?
actually, these are notes in
Your
case I got
notes.
frozen. However, I
Okay.
realized that I also added notes to the presentation, so.
Right. I would rely on those. Probably a paper is not
Yes.
going to look real good. So, I would say, get more practice presenting and get a little more comfortable. And on the slides with the SSIS packages, what would be really cool there is if, it's kind of hard to see because there's a lot going on, but as you're describing it, if you could have added some kind of animation, kind of like the flow of how things were going, I think that would have been really cool. So, thank you for doing this, and, great job, and, good luck.
Excellent job. It's really hard to get up in front of a lot of people and do a talk like that, especially just for 5 minutes. Your timing was quite good. Maybe a little bit over, but nothing serious. And I think it would have been a little bit easier for you. I sense that you understand your topic much better than it came across. That maybe if you relied less on notes and talked to us as though you were having a conversation with a friend, that might have gone over a little bit more easily. That it would have been a little bit easier for me to follow the presentation itself. I do like pictures of cats and dogs. So a little bit of a few cats or something.
That's his fault.
It's always my fault.
That works. Some sort of just imagery of some sort to make it a little easier to follow. Pictures worth 1,000 words, as they say. That would have been excellent. But it was a good topic, and I think it came across quite well. And your presence was excellent as well, so that was a good job. Thanks.
So, first of all, thank you very much. your presentation was, from presentation style, was by far the calmest we've experienced tonight, which is neither good or bad, so that's just an observation, not judging. See, there's so many reasons why I'm not going to be back here. See, now people are judging me, so that's good. I had little issues following you in the beginning, which is also because I got the attention span of a 2-year-old. But in the beginning, you were telling us lots of stuff that you're doing, but we were basically just showing your interest slide. But at the same time, you were not telling us a story. So kind of adding to what if you would have engaged us in kind of a conversation, even if you're not really engaging us in it, but either tell us a story, but the way you did it, you can do it like that, but I would have preferred to have a couple of bullet points that kind of support that, would have made it easier for me to follow where you're going with this. I liked how you explained what you're doing. Totally agreed that your font size need to be bigger than that. You're very lucky Megan Longoria is not here. And I was kind of, and one of the reasons for that is that I'm an SSIS guy. I was kind of missing pointing out a little more specifically why you were doing this yourself instead of using any kind of existing integration services or ETL frameworks that are out there. Because there's always a good reason, and I'm pretty sure you had probably more than one good reason.
Most of them we can't present on.
Sorry, say again?
Most of them are paid, so we can't present on them.
Okay, which is fair, which might already be the reason, but that is something, whenever I hear someone kind of reinventing the wheel, I would like to understand why, because there's lots of good reasons of doing that, and I keep doing that on a daily basis, but there must be a good reason for it. So if you're selling this to me, not as an actual sale, but if you're basically presenting that to me, I would like to understand why did you jump through all these hoops instead of just using something that's out there. Otherwise, thank you very much, very well. Perfect on timing, actually all three very well on timing, so thank you.
All right. There were a couple of things that really drew me in. There was one point where you were counting and you did a hand gesture with both hands, which I can't do because I'm holding a microphone. But it really worked. Like, you were doing this, you were looking around the room, and I was with you. And I barely know how to spell SSIS. Like, that is all I know about SSIS right there. That was good. Like, at the very beginning, when things were kind of going wrong, you weren't making much eye contact with the room. And that is super hard mode. When things are going wrong is the hardest time to be making eye contact with the audience and kind of trying to smile, trying to look positive. And I know about this because maybe I had to do this earlier today. It's really hard. But if you just work towards that. So every time things go wrong, just remember when things go wrong, the audience is actually with you, and it turns out they root for you more than ever. You do it's hard, you're up there, trust me. I got reminded of that, I know. So just one of those things that, after you got out of that and you started going in, you were making great eye contact, I thought, and really good at that. And, I know it's super hard. The diagrams of the SSIS packages, as somebody who's just like, I don't know what that is, I just had no idea what to get out of them. So even if you're not showing the real thing, and you're really simplifying down, with just something else that I can follow some flow, that would really help folks in your audience who haven't used that before. And then one last thing that I just got confused by. I loved your joke about I like SSIS, but not that much. But then I didn't understand why we were using it. I kind of thought, we're going to use something else. And so I'm confused on your relationship with SSIS. It's complicated. I understand. But and maybe I'll remain confused. That's okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Eric. That was fantastic. And I love your Twitter handle of SQL Elf. That is fantastic. Thank you so much.
All good. Thanks, man. Judges, get out. Kendra, how long do you normally need?
Half an hour.
I was actually asking on their behalf. It's all good.
See you tomorrow.
I know. Well, I hadn't actually planned on this part, but that's all right. This is actually going to show all future speakers what not to do in a session. Be unprepared. Alrighty, so thinking about, Speaker Idol, why did you come? Was anyone brave enough to actually tell me why you came along? Mate. You want to know what talent?
I want to know what talent is out there.
Yeah? Cool. Yes, mate.
I like the brain break at the end of the day.
Nice. Yeah? So this sort of time, yep.
I
Mate.
don't have time to go to sessions, and I actually usually learn a little something.
So a brain break at the end of the day. I think this is a great time of the day to do this session. And Wendy said that, she doesn't get to go to too many sessions and she gets to learn something here. That's brilliant. Yes, sir.
Because I needed the last session. I just have to pick this one.
Fantastic. Because of the last session, g'day.
Because I'm developing my own speaking and my own presentations, so this gives me a chance to elicit feedback based on the things that I do the same as these people.
So coming along and learning something about how to speak and what have you. And I'll actually tell you a quick story and I'll come to some questions. Before I ever spoke at Past Summit, I spoke in October 2016. I actually entered a Speaker Idol competition. I even chose one of the hardest countries to do that in, Australia. Because I'm a New Zealander, right? But the really cool thing was, and I saw one of the judges last night who, was part of that process way back in February 2016, and I thanked them for helping me on my career. Because the stuff they told me that day, guess what I did? I wrote it down and I read it a couple of times, and it helped me along my career. Obviously, I haven't read it in a while because, But I think that's one of the cool things about this format is that it gives you just a peek at what makes a good speaker, and you get the feedback and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, did someone have another answer to my question? Why did you come along? Heidi, why did you come along to Speaker Idol?
So last year I competed in Speaker Idol, and it's really good to have such a supportive community to help. So I wanted to come support the speakers.
Heidi is one of those fantastic people in this world. Heidi is one of those great supportive people, and so she came along last year in a supportive environment, and now she's come back to support others. That's bloody awesome. Anyone else? Scoping out the competition. Alrighty. I like it. I like good, honest answers. Sorry, we had one over here. Hi.
I actually have two reasons. One, I absolutely love public speaking, but I've been too afraid to do it since I transitioned from meteorology career into databases. I feel like I don't know enough to do database presenting, but I still enjoy seeing good animated people talk, so thank you all for entertaining us. My other reason is, sadly, I work with my colleague Adam Anderson, who is supposed to be the fourth one here today. Stuck in the office dealing with fire drill after fire drill. But I wanted to at least do this competition so I can get more back. Everything is horrible.
That's really awesome because, when I got the message from Adam and I was like, oh, because he told me the reason, I was like, there's very few DBAs that have ever been in that situation, right? Where you have to give up. And that's one of the reasons why we are awesome. We love data. We actually know that beside our partner and our children, data is the most precious thing in this world. So please say thanks to Adam. I'll give you some chocolates to give to him so he doesn't miss out. So we had some over here. G'day, mate. Edwin, another great person. When I first came as a first timer to Past 2015, I read his blog post for first timers. It's brilliant. So someone as skilled and expert like Edwin still comes along to learn stuff. And we're all learning, right? I still listen. I mean, a particular judge from years ago makes me fill the white space on my PowerPoint slides. And it's good advice. And the font size. Someone else? I think we had Laurie. Support your friends.
Yes.
Brilliant. Man, how long are those judges? Oh, yeah. G'day, mate.
I heard this was
Okay. I can say this, right? I love you.
We all love her.
I know, right? How awesome is our community that we have Angela? Well, you as well. Yeah. You are as delicious as the L&P chocolates. So for the people down there, the answer was, Angela thought this was L&P Anonymous. Because if you haven't tried the L&P chocolates, come along to my Azure Kubernetes services session tomorrow morning, or even just see me in the community zone. I'll keep some. You've got to try the L&P chocolates. They're pretty awesome. Thank you, Angela. You know what? Do we have one more answer? Yes, sir, because I knew there was someone that had raised their hands a couple of times. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so one of the things I really love about Speaker Idol is it really forces you to distill things down to the absolute essence of what it is you're trying to communicate, get across. And believe it or not, I think 5 minutes is a long time. It's fine. If you do like a startup business pitch, you have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You want to let it down even more. So Speaker Idol helped prepare me to do startup pitches.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So, yeah, Speaker Idol, help with startup pitches. Who's going to... Dun, 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 dun.
Are you guys ready for this? I'm not. So I'll actually slide over so I can see you guys. So first of all, I want to say thank you again to the 3 contestants, because actually the hardest presentation I ever did was a lightning talk. So it is fairly easy to speak for a day, because if you're running too slow, you just start telling dad jokes and stuff. You all did great. Still, we had to agree on a lineup, and we did. I'm going to start with the runner-up. So the runner-up, which may or may not be our wild card on Friday, is going to be Dave Bland. And the winner of the day is William. So, congratulations to both of you, especially you, because we're going to see you for sure on Friday. But also, thank you very much again to Eric. This was great. Thank you very much, all 3 of you, for presentations. I'm already looking forward to... Am I going to be back tomorrow, or am I completely banned? Or?
You know the answer.
I will not be back tomorrow.
And please, everyone, can we have a round of applause for our awesome judges, please? When I decided who the judges were, I couldn't be happier, so thank you so much. Well, this is the first one done. See you tomorrow, and possibly Friday, if you're up early. But yeah, have a good rest of your summer as well. It's an awesome event, eh?